to tick over. But yo, how you doing? It is Andrew Hawks here. Of course, you can call me Doc Drew. You can find me over at Instagram at Andrew Hawks Online. You can find me at TikTok at Andrew Hawks Online. And of course at YouTube as well. Good morning from Tokyo, Japan. I hope you are incredibly well. Just, I'm up, obviously. I'm up with the sparrows pretty much every day, but I'm up early today. Everyone in the house will be up early today because today we're going to Disney Sea. Haven't been there before, so it'll be an experience, I am sure. Anyway, guys, today we're going to continue our journey into the DeFi space. We're trying to demystify it a little bit, have a talk around sovereign wealth, around yourself, around your goals and what you want to achieve. Of course, if you want to find out more about me, who I am, what I do, who I help, then you can find out more over at drewsdaily.com. Rock over there, there's the Sovereign Wealth Kit that you can download. There's also the DeFi checklist. But guys, before we go too much further, I do want to say that anything that I talk about today, anything that I say, it is not any form of financial advice. It's my opinion, it's my experience, it's the wisdom that I've created by making plenty of mistakes. So I just invite you to have a listen. And if you choose to do anything based on what I've said, make sure that you do your own research, okay? You are fully responsible for your results at the end of the day. And I think if more people understood that, if more people practiced that, we'd probably live in a much more comfortable environment around the world. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. So I'm gonna be here with you for the next half, 3/4 an hour, maybe up to an hour, just talking about cryptocurrency, talking about the DeFi space, the decentralized finance space, and drinking some coffee with you. Interesting cup here. There's no handles. It's a good thing it's, well, it is hot, but up near the top where my fingers are, it's not too bad. So absolutely fantastic to be here with you this morning. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've covered a myriad of topics. We've spoken about smart contracts. Of course, we spoke about that yesterday. We've spoken of what is DeFi, what is decentralized finance, what does it mean, how does it compare to the traditional finance space. We've spoken about DAOs, we've spoken about NFTs, we've spoken about the difference between a token and a coin. What is that? How does that look? So I know you're there. Thank you very much. Good to see you guys joining in. It's an interesting name, does bad things. I like that. Nate, how you doing? Hope you're good. On Facebook, great to see you guys here as well. So we've basically come full circle because today we want to try and button it all together. We want to go over this. And if we've done it right, we should be starting to get an understanding of what this space offers for us. Now that's, of course, if you've been here every day. If you haven't, you can go back and look at the different episodes, and of course they will very, very soon be up on drewsdaily.com, so you'll be able to go through and watch them all from there, all the highlights, all the key points that you may have missed. But anyway, right now for today, we're just going to try and button it up just that little bit. Now here's the thing, if you have been tuning in most days, and look, there's some regular people, I can see that, but if you've been tuning in most days and you haven't yet taken action, I'm going to say, well, that's not necessarily your fault. It's your responsibility 100%, but it's not your fault. And the reason it's not your fault is because that's how we're conditioned. That's exactly how we're conditioned to operate, is to look at things but not implement them. And if we want to move ahead, if we want to get ahead, if we want to break the mold of what we've known, then we need to start implementing the little things. And I've got a good mate, he lives in Dubai. I was going to say he's a Welshman. He's definitely not a Welshman. He's a Liverpudlian. But he, he's got a saying. He does a lot of trainings, and his learn the basics, do the basics. Learn the basics, do the basics. So it's literally stepping like this. Because if you're just learning, you end up walking in a bit of a circle, because you're only taking one step with one foot. So we need to start to implement some of the things that we've been looking at. Now, it's not to say you have to do it with me or anything that I'm doing. You just have to take action on it. But again, I want to appreciate everyone that's been here and been tuning in each and every day, and say congratulations, well done. Now, the ones that just landed today, that's all right. You can come full circle, come back next Monday, and we'll be going through again and talking about different things. Talking about the DeFi space, talking about how you can take advantage of it, talking about the pros and the cons of it. And look, there's, as with anything, there's going to be some cons, but you've got to weigh that up and go, do Do the pros outweigh those? And in most cases in the DeFi space, they 100% do. If you want to know more about me, who I am, what I do, who I help, then go over to drewsdaily.com. You can grab the Sovereign Wealth Kit, the DeFi checklist, and of course, there's a link there so you can WhatsApp me. We can have a chat. But here's the thing. Most people don't need new information. They need new filters to look at it through. And there's an old Zen proverb, and it is, to know and not yet to do is not yet to know. Bit of a mind bender when you first think about it, but to know and not yet to do is not yet to know. So how many times have you seen something, yeah, I know that, but they're not implementing it? Then they probably don't know. And I'm guilty of it myself. I've gone, yeah, of course I know that. But I haven't had time to implement it yet. No, you clearly don't know it yet. And this is as much for me as it is for anyone. Clearly I don't know it yet, otherwise it would be implemented, right? In some cases. And in other cases, man, I'm all over it. But here's the thing. You just need a new filter to look at it. So I want you to sit and ask yourself a question now. And that question is, what story have you been telling yourself, or have you been told about money your whole life? What money? Well, I mean, what story? What is your money story? What's the story that you've been told or have been telling yourself all your life? Now, one of the big ones for me growing up from my parents, well-meaning parents, of course, huge love. Just got my dad with me now. Unfortunately, Mum passed 10 years ago. But it was always the same story. It was, oh, money doesn't grow on trees. Maybe you've heard that one. Well, we're not made of money. Maybe you've heard that one too. And it's all about the way in which we frame it and think about it. We often say, oh, I can't afford to do that. Well, of course we can't, because we've just told ourselves we can't. And this is as much a mindset thing as anything at all, right? It's as much a mindset thing as anything. It's the way in which, the language in which we talk to ourselves on a consistent basis. That really dictates the results that we have and how they show up and how fast they show up. If we continually tell ourselves, I can't do that, or I can't afford that, guess what? You're right, you can't. Henry Ford said it perfectly. He said, there is no such word as can't. There's can and I will. That came about from him creating the Model T Ford. And interestingly enough, that's how the T came about. He said, I want to build a production line for cars so that we can produce cars very, very cheap, and that every man in America can have a car. Every man, woman, whatever. And he was told, you can't do that. And he said, watch me. I can. Take the T off that can't and let's make the Model T Ford. True story. So what patterns, what things, what are you continually saying to yourself about money to have it stay away? Now this could be, this is applicable in both the traditional finance sense and the decentralized finance sense. What stories are you telling yourself? And a good one, a common one that I see is, oh, I'm just waiting for this to happen before I do that. You're gonna be waiting forever. I'm just waiting for this to happen before I do that. You're absolutely gonna be waiting forever. Why? Because the universe thinks, well, you're not ready for this yet. And yeah, I absolutely believe in a universal power. Some people call it God, some people, it doesn't matter what people call it. There is an external power, a universal power that speaks, that responds to your stimulus, that responds to the way you show up in the world. And if you show up as a negative Nelly, guess what? You're gonna get negative results each and every freaking time. Every time. On the flip side of that, if you turn around and go, hey, you know what? There's some really good opportunity right here. And if I move forward with it, if I can make this work, and I ask the question, how can I make this work? Magic shows up for you. Magic shows up. Thank you. I love the love coming through there on TikTok, guys. Appreciate it. So magic shows up when you show up for yourself. And guys, if you are just showing up, head over to drewsdaily.com. You can grab the Sovereign Wealth Kit or the DeFi checklist, and we can touch base and we can have a chat. The language in which we use each and every day creates the picture of how we live, creates the environment on how we live, creates the environment on how we show up. So something that we've been lied about for sure, but indoctrinated into, and this is for over 100 years, we're still using a system that was created for the Industrial Revolution. We haven't been in the Industrial Revolution for a long time. We've moved on from that. We're starting to see it more and more. We're starting to see jobs being automated, robots on car assembly lines. If we're going down that path, we're talking about Henry Ford before, robots on car assembly lines that can weld more accurately and faster than a person like you or me. So a lot of that has already been automated in the industrial space. So therefore, we need to continue to move on, but we're still stuck in that loop that we earn, we spend, we owe, and then we repeat and we do that over again. And I invite you to take a look at where you are sitting right now. If your income stopped today, how long would you be able to continue on for before the lights went off, before you couldn't put food on the table, before you couldn't put more clothes on your back? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. And if your answer is any less than 12 months, then you've got an issue. Because you want to give yourself at least 12 months grace to be able to maybe reskill yourself, learn a new topic like DeFi. You want to give yourself 12 months grace that you can, if you need to, take a break and reset and back up. Now, I was blessed enough a couple of years ago where I took 2 years and just really got clear on who I was, because I can tell you what, I lost my identity. I was very high up in a company. We were doing very good things. And then I left. I resigned from the company because it lacked a little bit of integrity. Just some of the things that were happening just didn't sit right with me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to tap out of this. And it rocked me. It rocked me hard. But, well, thankfully, and I had the scope where I could take that time out and just completely reset. It was one of the best things I could have ever done. Now, you're not at fault for running in those patterns that you continually run. You're not. It is your responsibility 100%, and you might go, well, that's the same thing, Andrew. Nope, it's not. Your responsibility is literally, responsibility, if we break it up, it is the ability to respond. And if you have the ability to respond, then it's your responsibility to do something, right? In any given situation. Whether it's seeing somebody being mugged down the street and you have the ability to respond, then you probably should. Now, caveat, don't put your personal safety at risk. That's probably silly. Although maybe you're heroic and you do that anyway. Maybe you're courageous and you do that anyway. We've seen plenty of that throughout the years. And it's lauded, and that's great. But my point here is often, well, we're talking about responsibility and fault. It's your responsibility, it's not your fault. We've been taught these patterns. We've been taught, sorry, I'm just making sure I've got power down there where I need it, when I need it. We've been taught that we can run through, or rather we run through the pattern over and over and over again. So it's integration over inspiration. What does that mean? It means that we've heard something and seen something so many times that it just becomes naturally, it becomes unconscious, and we just go through those motions. We can do the same thing with the thoughts, habits, and language that is going to move us forward. So why don't we? Well, because growth is painful sometimes. Growth hurts, it's uncomfortable. Not necessarily painful, but it is uncomfortable. Hey Butang, how you doing, brother? I hope you're good. So we hang on to things. The things that give us a fix or a dopamine hit. Now, maybe that's binge watching Netflix. Maybe it is going to a job. I don't know. I remember doing a breathwork course probably close to 2.5 years ago now. And I was like, yeah, I'll learn this modality of breathwork because it's the in thing. And don't get me wrong, I love breathwork. It's awesome. And it is great for healing trauma. It's great for working through issues that you have. But it dawned on me that potentially the only reason I was doing it is because I got such a dopamine hit. Such a huge endorphin rush when you do it and do it right. Oh my God, it's amazing. totally euphoric. You go on a journey. And they say, be careful about getting high in your own supply. And it's talking about, it's talking about a lot of things, but in the breathwork, it's talking about them and doing breathwork journeys so much just to get that hit. And it dawned on me that maybe that's not the most healthiest thing for me. Don't get me wrong. Breathwork has a place and you should go through it and you should use it. And I think Gary Brecker says there's 3 things that are free that absolutely will extend your life. One is breathwork, one is sunshine, and one is grounding. Those 3 things you can do for free each and every day and you will extend your life. But most people don't do it. Most people don't put a value on it because it is free. So my point about this story was that I was chasing that endorphin. I was chasing that high, that dopamine hit. And it wasn't serving me for what I wanted to create because it was temporary. And it wasn't taking me forward to where I wanted to be. Yeah, I felt great at the moment in the time. Oh yeah, I'm loving that. Booting saying XLM is about to move $1 and beyond. Let's go. Let's go. I'm down with that. Guys, we don't talk about specific tokens or coins on here. They will get mentioned every now and then. Obviously, I've said about Bitcoin and where it's at, but because that's the granddaddy. And I've spoken about some other tokens too. But realistically, this is more about mindset and how you can look at things and get into them. So why did I get into the DeFi space? There's a couple of reasons. The first of which, I care about my voice being heard. I care about my decisions being respected. And I don't believe that our centralized system allows for that. And more we're starting to see each and every day that it's getting less and less. It's crazy. Hey guys, if you are just joining us, head over to drewsdaily.com. You can grab the Sovereign Wealth Kit and the DeFi checklist as well. We're in a new neighborhood and there's new sights and sounds going on outside, so you notice the backdrop's a little bit different. So if I seem distracted, I do apologize. I should be here present with you. So if you want to know more, head over to drewsdaily.com and let's start a conversation. But the reason I got into this space was because I valued my time. I valued my freedom. I valued my autonomy. I valued my privacy. And there'll be, the centralized space doesn't necessarily cater for that anymore. I won't say allow, cater for that. And there'll be people that go, well, if you've got nothing to hide, then it doesn't matter about your privacy. Pig's ass. It does so. Everybody is entitled to privacy. And I don't have anything to hide. I'm a very open book. I've told my story to thousands of people and will continue to do so. No filter. Don't care. Because my theory about that is the more that people know about me, the less they can use against me. The more that I put out there, the less anyone can try and use against me to hurt me. So there you go. So I put it out there, I do. But most people, they don't need information, they need new filters, as I've said. The reason I got into the space is about my control of my time, control of my energy, control of my choices. Because choice is a very, very important thing to me. So we've talked about the fact that DeFi exists because the system is rigged against us. By design, not by happenstance, not by accident, it's by design. We're sold into a life of servitude right from the day that our parents sign our birth certificate, which is a complete other story, and maybe we'll go into that in a special episode one day. But it gives us the ability to do what we want. Now, sovereignty isn't just sexy, it's necessary. You can conform, and this isn't about anarchy, and anarchy is not what most people think it is. Anarchy is just simply without rules. So DeFi is definitely not about anarchy. It's not about anarchy, it's about you being in control of you. Everything you do, your finances, the whole lot. It's about you being in control of that. That's what DeFi is about. And it's not just sexy, it's absolutely necessary if you want to continue to live a life that you create, that you design. We've talked about tokens, how they're not just a get rich quick. Look at that, what's it come out of there? It's not get rich quick, in fact it's not, it's probably get rich slow. Oh my God, I'm just getting rid of all that. Because for some reason, doesn't matter. Tokens are, as I said, they're not a get rich quick. They're programmable assets. They allow you to do the things that you want to do. I just have to get rid of this, guys, because this is annoying me. And I don't know why. There you go, that's better. So risk is real. We've spoken about that. Risk is real, but the biggest risk is in doing nothing at all. You could sit and do absolutely nothing and go absolutely nowhere. If you don't take a step forward, you'll always be in the same place. If you don't ask, the answer will always be no. So you're starting to understand that DeFi is more than just a mechanism. It's an understanding, it's a mindset around you being in control of you, your finances, your assets, your whole way of being. Now, we've spoken about yield and how that's a productivity of your assets. What assets do you have? And yes, yield is very real in the centralized space as well. If you've got a rental, then you're probably getting a yield from it. If we're staying in this Airbnb here in Japan right now, these people have this Airbnb and they're getting a yield from it. They're getting something from it. This is an asset for them. If you've got a property that you're not living in, but you're receiving rental from it or receiving Airbnb money from it, guess what? Maybe even you're subletting it and doing it that way. That's still an asset for you. If it's bringing in more than it's costing you, it's an asset. If it's costing you, then it's a liability. If it's costing you more than the outcome is going to be. So maybe you're working to it. Maybe right now you're like, well, actually, I run a business and I have got business debt, but it's also bringing in income. You know, maybe I've got $500,000 worth of business debt and I'm only earning $200,000 a year. You might go, well, it's not earning income. Well, it is. If you're servicing the debt is only costing you $100,000 a year, which it wouldn't be that high on $500,000, but let's say it is, then it's still producing you $100,000 a year, isn't it? So it is an asset. We look at it that way. NFTs, they're about access, not just art, not just guerrilla JPEGs or anything like that. Musicians, artists can use it for monetizing their products and continuing to get royalties from them. We talked about how we can use those in masterminds, how we could actually sell an NFT to be a founder of a mastermind or a founder of a private members association or anything like that. And then you could on-sell it, and the person that created that mastermind or that PMA, and not the person in the PMA, that would be, if any royalty from an NFT and a PMA would just come back to the foundation account, right? To the foundation wallet, so that they can continue to fund all the things they're doing. We've spoken about DAOs. Now there's proof, the power's in the community. It's with the people without necessarily having to have a hierarchy. Talk about Web3, how it gives you the keys to your own kingdom. We talked about how code doesn't lie. Bootang, I love your I'm just gonna, I don't know if I can put that up. I think I can. I love your positivity, brother. I just think that's cool. Boateng said this is going to be the first time people are going to respect and love their struggles by staking their digital assets for unlimited profits. And it's not far away. It's so close with the passing of the Genius Act and everything else that's gone on. Yeah, there's good things afoot. That is for sure. For sure. So if you've ever felt behind, and today's episode is probably going to be short because we are, as I said, heading to Disney Sea today. So if you are just joining us, guys, head over to drewsdaily.com, grab the Sovereign Wealth Kit, download the DeFi checklist, flick me a message on WhatsApp, let's have a chat, let's open that conversation. You can find out more about me, who I am, what I do. And yeah, that'd be cool. Be cool to connect. And I see people connecting on TikTok too. Thank you, brother. Caleb, hope you're good. So if you've ever felt left behind, you're not. I've said this a couple of times. Yes, the space is 10, 15 years old now, 16 years old. If we look at the advent of Bitcoin, but realistically, there's still less than 7% of the world's population involved in this space. In cryptocurrency, even less in the DeFi space. And you might go, but Drew, isn't they the same? No, they're not. Cryptocurrency, we've got major hedge funds like BlackRock, like Vanguard. Regardless of what you think of them, it's irrelevant. They are involved here now. They are selling EFTs. So what does that mean? We spoke about EFTs, and David Johnson, if you're watching, if you come back to catch up, did absolutely correct me on that. It's an electronic traded fund. ETFs, sorry, not EFTs. So I always meld the NFT and EFT together. It's ETFs, electronic traded fund. So they're now running ETFs on the likes of Bitcoin. So what does that mean? They take your money, they buy Bitcoin, you never ever hold it, so you're not the custodian of it, which is against the idea of blockchain, right? Of the decentralized space. Decentralized finance and decentralized space, they've got some crossover, but they're not exactly the same. Of course, my understanding of that. But the ETFs mean that they get to purchase and control the Bitcoin with your money. Yeah, you might get the reward from it, but they still control the asset. So DeFi is about control for you. Now the old world is collapsing in slow motion. It's like we're witnessing the fall of the Roman Empire all over again, but this time we get to do it with Wi-Fi and memes. Read into that what you need to, but yeah, it's very, very true. Now, if you're one of those people that have watched each one of these episodes, or if you're just joining us, cool. There's more episodes. We do this every weekday around the same time. I do travel full time. I'm currently in Japan, so 6:30 a.m. for me is UTC plus 9, and that's generally when I start. So even when I'm traveling, it'll still be around 6:30 a.m. Did I say PM? But it's AM. Around 6:30 a.m. Is when I go live, usually after I've gone for a walk. And I come back and I'll make a coffee and just sit here and chat with you guys for a little while, which is one of the best parts of my day, I'll be honest. I love it. So, but if you've been watching every episode and you've taken notes but haven't yet taken action on anything, then you need to stop and ask yourself the question, why is that? Why is it that I want to plug in? Why is it that I want to learn? But what is stopping me from taking action on what I've heard about? Even if it's just Googling something to find out more. And I don't really use Google that much anymore. I use ChatGPT and ask it the questions because it'll go out and do the searching for me. And let's face it, when you do a Google search these days, unless you put at the end of it no AI, you're getting an AI response anyway. It's not even showing you the links. It's just showing you a summary of what they think you want to see. Which reminds me, I have to do something for you, Jonathan and Asita. Let me get onto that. Not that I think you guys are watching this, but anyway. Hey, if you are just joining us on TikTok, tap that screen, guys. I'd love to see you chiming in there. And of course on Facebook and YouTube as well. Hey, hope you're all good. If you are just joining, head over to drewsdaily.com. You can grab the Sovereign Wealth Kit, the DeFi checklist. But we've been trained to consume and not commit, haven't we? We're a binge culture now. We've been a binge culture for a while. But no longer do you have to wait for a TV, unless of course you're on Stan in Australia, and then you have to wait each week if it's a new series. But more often than not, particularly with the likes of Netflix, you can jump into Netflix and you go, right, what's a series? Oh, I want to watch that series. And you can watch it from start to finish, multiple seasons. So we're literally a culture of consuming, not necessarily taking action on the things that we see. And that's kind of why a lot of people are stuck. Let's flip that. I've had countless people that have messaged me, my inbox blows up each and every day that I do these lives. And yeah, a lot of people go over to drewsdaily.com and they grab the Sovereign Wealth sheet. For reasons, because they're sick and tired of the system dictating to them what they can and can't do with their money. And that's absolutely what DeFi is about. It's about you giving you back control. But I've had people message me in this last week and say, Drew, I finally get it. I finally understand what this space is about. This literally gives back control to me, and it doesn't cede it to someone else. It doesn't give that control to somebody else at all. I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point. It's about you being in control. It's about you having the say over your finances and what you want to do. And it's, look, anything I'm saying here is common sense. It's not financial advice at all, in any way, shape or form, and shouldn't be considered as such. Go out and do your own research. I always implore you to do that. Don't take my word for it. I'm just some dude, balding, who's sitting there having a coffee, having a chat with you. Go and do your own research. The problem is most people are too freaking lazy to do that. Most people want someone to spoon feed them. And then when it doesn't work out, they want to blame someone else. They want to go running to anyone that'll listen and say, oh, this person did that to me. No, they didn't. You did it to yourself. Because you didn't pay attention, or you didn't ask enough questions, or you didn't do your research. Now, have I been involved in products and programs before that haven't worked out the way that we anticipated? Yeah, absolutely. And anyone that says they haven't, either A, haven't tried enough, or B, are lying. It's one of those two things. Because if you are committed to bettering yourself, if you are committed to taking control of your finances, your situation, then you're going to have failures, and you should have failures. Fail is literally just the first attempt in learning. And you need to have those failures. What we got here is, you can tell anyway. That's from Cool Hand Luke, I think it's the name of anyway. We learn from those failures, and if we don't have them, we don't get ahead. It's pretty much that simple. So as I said, I heard from someone, actually I've heard from a number of people, but one that really stuck out to me is, I finally get it. And it's not about this or that. It's about me. It's about this here. It's about this top 2 inches and the way in which I look at things and the way in which I think about things. I'm like, yeah, of course, 100%. And that doesn't mean to say that you start thinking in one way and that's it, you're done, because you're going to have relapses. You're going to go back. I still have days where I'm like, oh, what the hell am I doing? But for the most part, that voice is absolutely drowned out. And I look at the positives and I look at all the things that I'm learning and all the people that I'm meeting and all the opportunities that continue to just open up in front of me. The problem with opportunity, and I think it was Thomas Edison that said this, the problem with opportunity is that it often shows up dressed in overalls and looks like hard work. So most people will shy away from it. So most people don't think as well. Henry Ford had a saying about that. He said, what exactly did he say? Thinking is the hardest job we will do. That's quite possibly why so few people partake in it. So most people don't think. They're walking around having the same thoughts that they had yesterday, repeating the same patterns that they did yesterday, asking the same questions that they did yesterday, having the same thing for breakfast they did yesterday, having the same thing for lunch they did yesterday, taking the same train, the same bus, the same car, walking into the same office with the same attitude. And it's Friday. And if you're sitting there going, oh yes, it's Friday, it's the weekend, then you're who I'm talking to. Because if you're looking forward to the weekend, just it's Friday, you've got to get through to Friday so you can have the weekend off. Man, you got to take a look at your life. Is that how you want to live? Because we weren't born just to go to school, get an education, get a job, pay taxes and die. That's not what we were born for. And there's real opportunity right in front of you if you want to jump out and take it. It's in the DeFi space. And I'm not talking about going and getting involved in a business. There's plenty of those out there if you choose to. I'm talking about educating yourself so that you can use it for you, so that you can get ahead. Now, as I said, today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter. I said it'll be about half, 3/4 now, so we're just past the 34-minute mark, we're almost at the 35-minute mark, and we're about to wrap up. But you have the power if you choose to use it. Only if you choose to use it. Because if you don't, then you don't have any power. These live streams are designed or intended to empower you to take action, to do something different, to think different. And that's all. Everything starts with a thought. So if you start thinking differently, you're going to start having different results. I'll say different. Sometimes they might not be better, but they're different. And having a different result is better than having the same result over and over. Unless, of course, you're absolutely crushing it and you want to create that result, but then you get into a stagnation and you plateau and you stop. You always want to be evolving. So start thinking differently and you will start to evolve. Anyway, it's been great to be here with you today. If you want to know more about who I am, what I do, who I help, then head over to drewsdaily.com, grab the Sovereign Wealth Kit. You deserve it. Grab the DeFi checklist, flick me a message on WhatsApp. Let's start to have a conversation and see where your journey goes. It's pretty much that simple. It's been awesome to be here with you. I'll leave you with this, as I always do. We create everything in our life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if we're creating it, we might as well go and create something freaking amazing. Create the life of your dreams. Create a life where you don't have to be so excited about Friday because it's the weekend. Create a life where you go, what day of the week is it again? I never remember. And I'm honestly in that space. I don't generally know what day of the week it is. If I'm doing a live stream, I know it's a weekday. If I'm doing a hot seat, it's probably a Sunday. But I generally don't know what day of the week it is. And that's a life by design right there. So you create everything in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly. You might as well go and create something freaking amazing. Have an amazing day. He kōnei rā. Goodbye. Ka kite anō. I will see you again. We'll see you Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'll still be in Japan, so it'll be around the same time. All right, guys. He kōnei rā.